Sometimes landscapes can speak to us, but they only talk if we are willing to listen to them. Manohar Devadas loves his hometown Madurai. A scientist by profession, the writer has produced some exquisite pen sketches of Madurai and its surroundings. One of his sketches of Yanai Malai has been reproduced here for you. But what makes him extraordinary is not his versatility, it is his indomitable spirit. For more than 30 years, Manohar Devadas has had retinitis pigmentosa, an eye disorder that slowly but surely reduces vision. His wife Mahima, an immensely courageous person in her own right, was paralyzed below the shoulders following a road accident 36 years ago. The love that they could bring to each other in the face of great tragedy has been a source of inspiration to all who have known them. Read and discover it. The city of Madurai has been in existence for at least 2400 years. Throughout its history, the city has nurtured Tamil literature. Over the centuries, Madurai has become famous for its temple complex. Rich in tradition, this ancient temple town has acquired its very own mythologies, evolving its own customs and festivals. A dominant landmark of the northeastern outskirts of Madurai is Yanai Malai, a solid rocky hill. When seen or approached from Madurai, this hill has a rather striking resemblance to a seated elephant, hence the name Yanai Malai, that is elephant hill. Dotted with starkly beautiful palmyra trees, this part of rural Madurai has had a character all its own. The paddy fields here were nourished by monsoon rains, supplemented by water from large wells called atoms, which have all but vanished from the rural scene today. Atoms were extensively used during my boyhood to draw water from these large square irrigation wells. A atom well had long cashew poles tied together with a rope, a large bucket at one end and a counterpoise at the other, enabling a man to single-handedly draw large volumes of water. On a cool moon in October, in the early 1950s, a school friend and I, on an impulse, decided to take a cross-country trek to Yanai Malai, climb up the hill and stand on its head to look at Madurai and the surrounding country. At one stage, the hill seemed close enough, but as we walked on it, seemed to move further away. Suddenly, an idyllic rural scene presented itself. We saw watery fields being ploughed. There was a large square atom well from which a wiry old man was drawing water. Yanai Malai was an imposing and silent backdrop. In October 1986, I was to capture in ink on paper the magic of the moment of that distant afternoon before lashing rains obliterated the serene landscape. Climbed up the hill then, he would have had a view not vastly different from the one we are looking at. Monolith rises abruptly and steeply like a mighty fortress. The pale brown hue of the hill is enriched by discrete downward streaks of rust red stains. During the cool winter months, before the emerald of the paddy fields slowly turns into a wealth of gold, small flocks of lily white egrets alight here to feast upon the tiny silvery fish that stray into the shallow waters of the fields.